I'm seeing red, do or die alive again. Hear the voice inside, telling me this is not the end. I'm seeing red, do or die alive again. Hear the voice inside, telling me this is not the end. I'm seeing, I'm seeing. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Second Amendment Ranch here on Sunday evening. As you notice, Cameron's not here tonight. He's feeling under the weather a little bit. He got a little bit of food poisoning. So everybody wish him well and everything. So Vincent has, I asked him to join me tonight on the Second Amendment Ranch. And welcome, Vincent.
Hey, Carl, how's it going? Hey, out there, how are you guys doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Right now, I got this show going, and I'm producing another show on another browser over there down in Texas.
Right on. I believe the name is Mike Miller.
Yes, from Warriors for America.
Warriors for America. And he lives only 60 miles from the border, or is it just 1 hour from the border?
He's 1 hour from his ranch that he lives. He lives in town, 1 hour from the ranch. The ranch is the last stop before the border.
I have to tell you, Carl, that's what I would call a little bit too close for comfort.
Yeah, but that's where his business is at. The ranch is a hunting ranch where they hunt different type of animals down there. They come in. He's got real exotic cabins down there, all set up that the immigrants have been tearing up and destroying.
And you know, the sad part about it is America doesn't have a clue.
I would say everybody from middle America up. I'd say Oklahoma, all the southern states from there down and everything. Even a little bit over to the east, but not very much. I'd say they all know exactly what's going on down there. The rest of America better open their eyes.
Well, it's not that they're unable to. Well, yes, it would be wonderful for them to open the eyes, which is why, of course, you came across this, and I can't even begin to applaud you anymore. We're only 8 miles away, you and I.
Yeah.
And I'm from the East Coast, and you're from down here. And in doing so, we bonded, obviously, a friendship to where we have the same ideologies, the same mindset. We have different opinions and different views, maybe, on a few things. But in general, we have what's called agreeing to disagree. And why can't we just get along?
Right.
That's what the First Amendment is about.
Right. And out to Scott, no, Cameron got food poisoning. He didn't check the date on the chicken. He got sick bad. So he didn't have that much tequila. Besides that, I don't think he drinks tequila. Well, he'll drink a lot of other stuff, but I haven't seen him drink any tequila.
That's funny. I was just looking at a bottle of mine. I said, gosh, I've had that for about 3 years. I only have about maybe 5-6 shots left, if that much, and thought, when am I going to polish this off?
Tequila?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't eating dog food again. No. He learned his lesson on that.
That's too funny. But
And
getting back to where Mike is and what he's doing with his project, the American people, you said open their eyes, but it's kind of hard for them to do that when the media and big tech, for particularly big tech, is suppressing so much information. I mean, anyone who's affiliated with the Red Party, and I'm not talking the Chinese Communist Party, I'm
right.
talking about the Red Republican Party. You know that.
Yeah.
They're being censored. And the news media, of course, isn't covering it as far as all the big boys, CNN, MSNBC. And I don't under, I mean, I know why, because it doesn't fit in their
Okay,
hey, what's going on,
Christine.
Christine?
She's
It
on her
doesn't.
way home from the East Coast.
Ah, that's right. She was in
Be careful
Baltimore.
and be safe.
She made it out of Baltimore alive.
Yep.
That's wonderful to hear.
She made it out of Washington, D.C. She went down there and seen the Capitol. Hi,
Right on, Julie. Hello, how are you?
How's things down under, Julie? That's our lady from Australia.
Right on. I know. I'm kind of getting new to this
Right.
stuff here, and Julie, boy, I'd like to talk to you too, because the fear of Chinese dominance or possibly war and economic war with you guys is pretty inflamed right now.
Yeah.
Talk about a climate change.
Right. We'd love to get Julie on the show anytime. She just got out of lockdown.
So that meant you could now use your computer?
Well, she probably had COVID. Or the whole town was in lockdown. One of the two up there.
Well, are they turning it out the internet? I was kind of making a joke about I mean, even if she's, in lockdown down there or was, I'm sure she had the internet. She could come on and join us sometime, of course.
I haven't seen Julie around that much, so I don't know if she just got out of Facebook jail or what. But no, it's glad to see Julie back in here tonight. I know Cameron misses you a lot and everything in the chat room. But again, we put a shout out to everybody in the chat room. If you have any questions for us, make sure you ask. Hello, Crystal, and everything. Got back home safe? So she just, how'd you like your stuff you bought?
Oh my goodness! All I can tell you is it's a little it's a treasure trove.
Can you use everything you got?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And even to the point that a few things were wow.
Right.
And even a few things I've set aside because I want to offer them for Christmas gifts. So yeah, if you're in the area of Crystal, which is up here by us in Gallatin, Daviess County.
Actually, she's in Harrison County, up in Bethany.
Yep.
At 1700 Main Street. Yeah, Main Street. There in Gallatin at the Getting Place thrift store, which will be opening up very shortly. We did live auctions, a man cave sale there last night. We're doing another one again this Tuesday night, another man cave sale. So I got me 2 or 3 items out of there last night. She brought them by. So, oh, you're just leaving Hamilton now. Okay. She made her drop off in Hamilton.
I was asking earlier about Christine making it out of Baltimore alive. It looks like she had, from this statement, maybe you want to read it, Carl?
Yeah, D.C. was horrible. Can't get anywhere near the Capitol or the White House. They're scared of we the people. That's what she told me. She sent me a message and everything on Facebook there when they were in Washington, D.C. And she goes, it looks nothing like it did 3 years ago when she was there.
And the thing is, our history throughout all of our cities, me, of course, coming from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, born and raised.
Hey, simple man.
We have so much beautiful geography of historical nature throughout our country. When are they? I don't know. Have you heard about this one? A friend of mine texted me yesterday, said that they were thinking about lopping the head off of the Statue of Liberty and putting George Floyd's head on top with the hands up and dropping the Bible and the torch.
I haven't heard that one yet, but if that happens, be prepared, people. That's
Yeah.
all I got to say.
I
Be
mean,
prepared. There
I
will be
think
a
he-
march.
Yeah, I think he was making a joke out of that, but just the same, when are they going to go after, for instance, the Statue of Liberty?
It's they can go about after anything they think they want up there. It wouldn't surprise me one bit, but if they go after that, that's just like going after this right here. They're cutting it real close on going on that.
Yeah, and Scott, really seriously, again, I think my friend was making a twisted joke about these different radical groups. You know, Cori Bush this past weekend, and I'm going to quote what she said. You know, in short, I'm paraphrasing except for the quote, and I'll give it to you, Carl. She said, I paid $2,000. I don't care if I pay $10 more for my personal security because I'm your voice and I need the protection. But defund the police must happen. So suck it up.
That's right. You're totally right.
And the sad part about it is just last night, 2 police officers, I don't know what city, were shot. One was killed. A female, 29 years old, with a 2-month-old baby, just got off of maternity leave.
That was in Chicago.
Okay, yes. And they also had 44 shootings within 11 hours, little over 10 hours, which was a little bit more than 4 shootings per hour.
Right. HTX Renegade Radio posted that on their Facebook, a picture of her and everything.
Yeah.
She just got off maternity leave. First night on the job.
It's so sad and tragic. I mean, again, as a young man, and there's a lot of young men and women out there, we want to be liberal. We want to buck the system. We want to get by with breaking the law, be it speeding or driving with a little alcohol in our system or what have you. But, and of course, we want to legalize pot. Well, we got to do that. That ought to be something we should talk about, too. Right. A young lady was, I can't think of the website offhand, but, seriously, the police officers are gearing up to go back to work today in Chicago with that. And there's a second officer who's in a critical condition. He had been shot in the eye.
Right. HTX Renegade Radio just put on there was Chicago for Officer French. French was her last name.
And truth be told, it's
ordered, Crystal. It takes them a while. I'm getting ready to look for a different supplier. This Teespring is taking way too long getting my stuff out. So I was reading one of the messages down in there. Right. All these supplies I ordered, they've been ordered on for over 3 weeks and 2 weeks like that, and they still haven't sent any confirmations out or anything on it yet. So I'm going to look around for a different supplier.
You're looking for a t-shirt manufacturer?
Yeah, a t-shirt manufacturer that makes t-shirts, hats, all that stuff.
Well, I've got a guy that does, and he can order the t-shirts for you with hats, and he's down in Kansas City. Really a great guy. I've known him for about 15 years.
Right.
And
well, what I do is I look for the suppliers that can make them on demand, where I don't have boxes and boxes of t-shirts here, where everybody can buy them and it can be shipped directly to their house.
Right. Well, it's funny you talk about being able to get things. We are there have been a couple companies around the nation, Ford being one of them to my knowledge, that wasn't able to get parts for their electronics from China.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on. I mean, even parts at the auto parts store are even getting rougher to find now. Oh, well, I can make them, Scott, and everything. I know. I'm going to look around and get me a t-shirt press and everything, and then I know a place to order t-shirts, blank t-shirts at a low price.
Yeah, they've got your phone number, right?
Who's that?
This Scott fellow and well, Crystal, of course.
Crystal does and everything, but yeah, like I said, I got to find the price they're going to charge me because over there I was getting a real good price when I ordered them to ship them out, not compared to what people buy them because I'm
And
the creator of them.
Scott, thank you for telling us about Amazon. It's a wonderful company. I guess it's put out hundreds of and thousands of businesses out of business, mom and pop shops. So again, I try to do things locally myself. Yeah, we could go to Amazon, but again, that's not a I kind of want the little guy to continue on with their passion of business personally, you know. So Scott made the suggestion go on Amazon. I said I like the little guy.
I do too. I found them on eBay. I found them on Amazon. I can find them anywhere, and stuff. I was, but like I said, we'll see what we can find out.
It looks like we're beginning to accumulate a whole bunch of orders. So maybe we should be taking orders and writing stuff down about intake bolts for Frontier and stuff. See if we can search for it for them.
Yeah, he's got a buddy awaiting $1.33 intake bolts for his Nissan Frontier. Nissan can't give him a lead time. Yep, all these parts, and of course they're all made over there since all our companies went elsewhere in this country. They better come back and start making stuff in the U.S. But they can't get it. All
Right
the
on,
sanctions
Scott.
that's been put on China and everything, it's rough to get the stuff now.
Yeah, Scott was just saying, he mentioned Amazon. Doesn't mean he supports. Yeah, he does support the little guy.
I know you
But,
do, Scott.
yeah, you're right, Scott. Right now, we live in a society that wants what I call the instant gratification.
Right.
They got to have it today. They got to have it. It can't be here tomorrow.
Right.
You know?
Larry, I see you in the chat room. You might want to call your son, see how he's feeling. He's got food poisoning. That's Cameron's dad, Larry Bates.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. You'll learn everybody in the chat rooms. That way you'll know them on your show.
Right.
And for people that don't know, Vincent has a show on Wednesday nights from 6 to 8 p.m. here on the Billerites Network. Tell them a little bit about your show, Vincent.
I open up number one with the Pledge of Allegiance by Red Skeleton. It's a wonderful, wonderful oration of it. And then I try to open up with a quote, hopefully a quote that you may apply to your life as a discipline or a principle. And I may, play around and talk about it a little bit, but then I try to do an update on news, and I give the show is What Saith Ye So, a people's voice. So I give my opinion on a lot of subject matter, for instance, the border, and you can rest assured, I personally am not in favor of bloody lying Biden and this administration at all. There's nothing to support with them. They're destroying our country. I'm in the midst of getting Mark Levin's book, and I strongly suggest that one, American Marxism, because, folks, if we don't start changing the error of our ways, and really, I always talk to parents direct, but even the men that are young and single, or the women that are young and single, you've got to get involved in your politics. It's affecting everybody.
Right. Where'd you order that book from?
Barnes and Noble.
Okay, it'd be a while before you get it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be on back order. But Barnes and Noble has it. Already 600,000 copies have been sold. And that's a pretty big mile mark for a book that just came out. And the man, and if you get to watch him on Sunday nights, like right now, in about an hour, I think, he actually comes on and he will teach you so much about the Constitution and so much. And I'm talking, the man is he's a scholar. We pale next to him. we don't know anything. We're just fledglings learning to flap our wings a little bit here, or at least I am.
Right.
And he's just I got to tell you, he's a great guy to listen to. I record him. He's on Fox News at 6 o'clock Central Time.
Right. But yeah, it was either Wisconsin or Michigan. What are you talking about, Gary? Pastor Gary's in the chat room there.
A big rock on a college campus. He was mentioning there was a big rock on a college campus that was removed. And let me see if I get it. That was removed because it was considered racist.
Right. And then here from Chasing Wolf, Dan, well.
I'm sorry. I just threw that up there.
Right. From Dan Meadows, Chasing Wolf, one of our other hosts. Aside from all I do, he's also a gunsmith, right? He's waited on parts for U.S. made guns for several months. These parts are now only made in China. So see what our gun manufacturers have done too?
Oh, yeah. They're going for the cheap labor. Where there was a big thing on the news today, and I kept getting blips of it, and I couldn't pay full attention. It was about economics, world economics. And I think it's a CEO of, I want to say, a big bank that is merging basically with China, banking structure. And, you're I don't know how many Harley Davidson riders there are out there. Do we have a lot of them?
Up here? Oh, yeah. We got a lot of Harley riders up there.
Well, I myself personally, I ride, but not Harley. I've never had a Harley, never even touched one. But if you look on their engineer boots, when you go into the store accessories place, if you look on the engineer boots, the biker boots, at the bottom of the boot on the sole, right in front of the heel where that space is, on the instep, there'll be a yellow little piece of plastic in there, or rubber, whatever it is, and it says "Made in China."
Yep. Oh, I know.
And that has been going on now for at least 15 years that I'm aware of.
Right. It's just like Julie asked in here, is there anything that is not deemed racist these days? Just about everything is, it seems like.
Well, sure, they're using that card, and Julie, if you don't mind, Carl, can I address the racist word for a moment?
Go ahead.
Julie, I have to tell you, I am a racist. Give me a little latitude here, please. It would be stupid and disrespectful for me not to learn other cultures and perhaps even embrace those cultures. The thing is, the Democratic Party used that word because it was a 2-syllable word. Think about Congress. They're stupid people over there on the Democratic side. They really are. They're very self-serving. They're very selfish. But prejudice is a 3-syllable word, much longer, and they probably can't find much to rhyme with it. So am I prejudiced? No. Do I take every Italian and say this, that, or the other thing? That all Italian men hug and kiss girls and grope them? No, I don't do that. I can say that about Cuomo-sexuals.
But yeah,
but seriously, we're all racist. When we look at someone, we say, wow, where is she from, or where is he from? He's 6'4", blonde hair, blue eyes. And you automatically start thinking, the Vikings, or you start thinking, are they from Norway or Finland or Sweden? Because they can't be from South America.
Right. It's like Scott says, everybody just stop stereotyping.
Here, Scott.
Yeah. And Scott, as you know, is one of our regulars here on the Second Amendment Ranch from down in Arizona and stuff. And I mean, he's exactly right on this. And this is where a lot of politicians ought to listen to us and him when we all get together. He's a liberal, right? But we can have a conversation and not a confrontation.
Well, see, actually, I was going to tell you, Scott, don't be sorry that you ride a Ninja. Brother, you're riding.
Hey,
All I hope for you first and foremost is that you're always safe from the drivers that are texting, from the kids that get the cars from mom and dad for free and aren't paying attention to the road. I want you to come home at night. Whatever you ride doesn't matter. It's what you obviously can afford. And there's
right.
nothing wrong with saying, hey, or maybe it's because it's really a good bike and it's easy for you to fix. I don't know. But you know what? Don't apologize that you ride. And Carl, you know this about me.
Oh, yeah.
I've got 3 convertibles. It's a Mercedes, a Saab, and a Volvo.
Right. He couldn't make his mind up on which one he wanted, so he just got all 3 of them. Is what happened. But
well, there's a little bit more to that. I had the Saab. It's a great car. I was looking for a winter beater. Got the Volvo. And then I couldn't pass by the Mercedes. The price was right.
Right.
But and the Volvo is for sale. Anyone out there that wants to buy a Volvo convertible. But seriously, you know, even on my Saab, and Carl and I have discussed this, and I'm trying to get this done. I want to get the Bill of Rights, our network, our Bill of Rights network. I want to get it vinyl covered. And I want to have on the driver's door the First Amendment, and on the passenger door the Second Amendment. I want to get the flag on one side with the eagle. And all I can tell you is it's going to be a sharp car. The trunk will have the back, the blue, and it's such a great car to ride.
Oh yeah.
So you know
it is. It is.
It really is. It's a 2006, and it's a good car. And I've appreciated. So don't be sorry, Scott, that you drive a Ninja.
Yeah, and Julie put in there Volvo Baca Swedish biscuit, and then she put AKA.
Yes, but in Russia that'd be called baklava.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hey.
But I think a baklava isn't a biscuit; it's a dessert of sort.
You know, I ain't saying nothing about your cars. I got a Subaru. Go figure. I'm usually driving Chevrolets. They're easier to fix. But I couldn't pass this deal up on
Subaru. Here goes a fact for you. Number
Okay.
one, they're right up there next to Volvo for safety. But 90% of them, to my knowledge, last statistic I heard about them was 90% of them that are up to 10 years old are still on the road. If they've not been in an accident, they're still on the road.
Mine is 23 years old.
Can you get antique plat tags for it? Or can't you because
in 2 more years I can.
Oh, you can. I didn't know because it wasn't an American car that you couldn't get an antique tag.
Hey,
hello.
I've seen antique Jaguars with antique tags.
Okay, well, that may be the next thing the woke crowd might do.
It might be. But no, what made Subaru famous all the way around was the movie Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
They had them all fixed up in there to run and had him doing commercials and everything after the movie for Subaru. Because the one I got is a 30th anniversary of the Outback. It's a special one.
Well, see, that's funny you say that because the first thing I thought when you said.
Now, we're talking about our little cars. Look what Dan owns. A Hummer 3 and a Jaguar.
Does he have a bar in the back lounge of that Hummer?
No, I've seen pictures of it. It's nice. Oh, is it nice? So, and he was telling us about the Jaguar is his wife's, right? And it is gorgeous. It's an older Jaguar, but it is not. She loves it to death.
For a moment, when you were starting to tell the story about the movie of Crocodile Dundee, I automatically thought of a really awesome movie that I would like to share if you haven't seen it.
Go ahead.
It's called The Gods Must Be Crazy. It is a true vintage classic. And it all starts with a Coca-Cola bottle being chucked out the window of an airplane over Australia. and it hits a little Aborigine boy in the head. And that's all I'm going to say. It's just such a cute movie. Anyway, yeah.
Just kind of like the movie Kangaroo Jack.
I never saw that one.
Oh, you haven't? Where
Yes.
the guys mistakenly put jewels in their pocket, and the coat, he left it somewhere, and a kangaroo grabbed it, and somehow the kangaroo got it on. And it's jumping around Australia with $1 million worth of jewels in the pocket, and they're out trying to catch it.
So Scott, now this is really cool. I can't wait to ask Scott what this means, because I'm going to throw this at him because I'm really not sure. He says that The Gods Must Be Crazy is an awesome cult film. What is meant by cult film? I've never understood that, because I've never watched movies.
I've seen Red Dog.
But what does that mean by a cult film, Carl?
Cult film, a following of certain people.
Oh, okay. So, see, I didn't even know I belonged to a cult.
Well, you do now. If you like the movie and you think it's awesome and you follow and watch it, I guess you're a cult member. But, what we find out on the show.
Yeah, I like to, because see, when I think of movies, actually, I always look towards biographies. I love real life movies about real life people that did real life things. And
don't pay attention to me. I'm looking at my other show. It's still going.
Well, I'm going to throw this up because Scott offered a definition kind of for me here. A cult film is one of those movies from the 70s and 80s that was only popular by types of folks who don't really pay attention to the folks given ratings.
Exactly. Hey,
I give it a
could happen to a lot of movies.
Yes. Yes.
It really could, even today.
Wow, that's amazing. I guess even back then in the 70s and 80s, there was a portion of our media that would suppress, because I'm not kidding you. It's one of those movies that I've only seen it like maybe twice on TV. But it's one of those movies that it just makes you laugh. It makes you think. It makes you, it cracks you up. It's a little love story. There's just so many funny little, I'm talking, the rhinos are in charge of putting out and stomping out campfires.
Exactly.
It's it's the Australia, the rhinos are, rhinos. So that must have been in Africa, maybe. That might have been filmed in Africa now I think about it.
Right.
But anyway, it was funny because that's the Smokey the Bear.
Right.
Cute film.
You caught Mike Miller on HTX Renegade Radio Show the other night.
Yes.
And everything. And of course, he does the Warriors for Ranchers down there. Website and everything, a non-for-profit organization collecting money to help the ranchers out down on the border. He brought some stuff in to the show, and even before the show started, he showed me and Simple Man some pictures and videos of stuff going on down there at the border, even on his property and the property around. I mean, it's ridiculous what's going down there. And for him, as an owner of land that is a business for a hunting lodge, right? He's now had to hire security out there at his ranch to watch the buildings. They have done hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage down there.
What's happening down there as you're speaking is horrific. And it was equally horrific last year when the American people, and I can say that the American people, because even though they are leaning towards the progressive and the far left, with BLM, the terrorist group, those people are terrorists. Antiva as well, I feel, burning down. I mean, this is the big cities. Now we're looking at this to private people that just want to live their life comfortably, that have established themselves as an American on the border where they love to live,
Right.
where they obviously wanted to live. And this is against, I mean, to me, Biden needs to be brought up on charges of treason. Simple
Oh, yeah.
as that. They all need to go down for treason. And there's even a couple rhinos that need to go down
Right.
because, they want to pass these mask mandates and federalize it. And yet Biden's saying, well, listen to the colleges and listen to the institution and listen to this and listen to that. And they want you to mask up and vaccinate. We want you to too. Get your vaccine passport. And we've got people down there with no vaccine passport that are absolutely a threat to America's security.
Right. Well, it's like Mike showing his footage right at the edge of his ranch. There's a set of railroad tracks there, where right down the edge of the railroad tracks, you can see where the rocks are piled up on the side. There's 4 big culverts there that the illegals are hiding in. They have caught food and everything down in there, left for them, different things. Mike was even shot at from that location while he was on his property, going in his ATV with feed on going by. And there, luckily he wasn't hit. Nobody was there with him that got hit, thank God, and stuff. But he shows a video where he pulled up at the edge of his property to get up by the railroad tracks. There's 2 immigrants walking down the tracks. One's dressed in black, the other one's dressed in black, except the other one had full body armor on, carrying a rifle, walking down those railroad tracks.
That's very frightening, and yet people are, you've got these Democrats that are saying we need to tax gun owners, we need to put a heavier tax on ammunition, in which, by the way, ammunition is said around the country, at least in the larger cities, very, very scarce, very difficult to come by. We're blessed where we're at, where we can pick up a box of shells here and there, and we're kind of okay. And even then, we're in fear of when they're going to stop doing that around here.
Well, like Mike said, he's in contact with several of the big gun manufacturers that he knows and everything. Their hardest thing getting right now is new brass and primers. Primers is the hardest thing to get a hold of, because any primers being made, the government is buying up.
Yes.
And it just, there used to be excess out there that the gun manufacturers could buy, reloaders could buy. Reloaders can't even hardly get them now at all.
Yeah, it's the primers that are the, actually, it's not the ammunition so much as, like you said, the primers for the bullet, for the shell.
What do you mean by that, Scott? Okay, let me try this again. Stop stereotyping. We're not stereotyping anybody. All I was talking about was the illegals.
Yeah, that maybe because you're talking about how the illegals are walking across in military garb and carrying rifles and shooting at an American, that we think badly of the cartel members, maybe.
Hey, well, you want to think bad?
I don't like them. I don't like them.
Oh, if you're blaming all Democrats. No, we're not blaming all Democrats. There's Republicans out there that need to go bye-bye too.
He probably didn't hear me say that. A lot of what are called rhinos, that's would be a Republican in name only.
Right.
You have Liz Cheney. You have Mitt Romney. You have Mitch McConnell. You have Adam Kissinger. Yeah, Kinzinger. So no, it's not all Democrats, but it's a great majority of them. There's a lady that you and I were just talking about her in the mansion. Oh gosh, I can't think of her name. Yeah, they're wonderful liberals. Wonderful.
Right. But but like we was talking about the ammunition and stuff. If you find ammunition up here, the price is still high on it. But the manufacturer said there should be more coming out here before very long. They're getting word that they're going to be able to order the brass and the primers. So that could be some good news. It may be a couple months down the road, but it'll help out a whole bunch in here.
I just hope that those primers won't be coming to or coming from China that will make the a malfunction of.
Exactly. And it's just like Dan said in there. There are many on both sides that need to go bye-bye. You're exactly right.
100%.
You know, we're not picking on the Democrats or the Republicans. We're just saying there's a lot of them from both sides, you know, that need to go. They're tearing this country apart.
Oh yeah, you look at all the governors and the mayors and governors all last year of the Democratic Party that literally rules for thee but not for me.
Yeah.
And it's still going on today. So if I talked about Democrats, I'm talking about all those people. You're looking right now, they filed a lawsuit, the yellow-bellied cowards of Texas Democrats that went up to stop the election bill that Abbott wanted to pass. And now they want to sue the state of Texas because they made a decision to leave home, air their dirty laundry, and ask for little gifts like shampoo because they don't get it at the $5,000 a night hotel that they're staying in.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I've been asking all our guys, our hosts down in Texas, finding out when they're coming back. I want to know what's going to happen to them. You know, I'm not a resident of Texas, but I want to know what's going to happen to them.
Well, you know, the governor is pushing to get the wall built. And you know as well as I do, the federal government has no desire to get involved. We've got cackling Kamala, who likes to, again, treason. You are bailing out criminals.
Bass Pro Shop had primers, and I was only allowed to buy one box. Yep. They're putting limits on what we can buy.
Is there an age limit on on buying primer boxes? A box of primers, is there an age limit?
I would say 18.
Okay.
I would say now.
I was thinking it would be funny if Scott had a couple of kids, if he walked in and each of the kids grabbed a box of primers and bought them for him, you know?
Hey, I've seen that happen.
I've seen
that happen at a lot of places. You can only buy this many. Father goes in, comes back out. Wife goes in, comes back out. They call their son up that's of age. He goes in, buys, and comes back out.
Right on, Scott. Maybe we'll have to be calling you to buy.
Exactly, Scott. That's how you do it. Him and his wife both bought a box, and they went back 3 days in a row to get boxes. Now they got at least 1,000 of each type of the primers.
Scott, I don't know you, but I'll try and say that right out of the gate, I'll trust you. So if you do any 45, 223-556, let me know.
He does all that. Did you get the 4570? Did you get the 4570 sent to Cameron? Cameron's supposed to go up and fire a box of 4570s out of Bo Cephas's pistol.
Right on.
Yeah. If his arm can handle it. Shoot a 4570 out of a pistol. Bo Cephas will tell you it tears his arm up. Oh, Kara's got to make the cookies to send to him too. That's right. I forgot snickerdoodles.
Oh, I was thinking Scooby snacks.
Yeah, I know the rounds are ready to ship. You showed them the other night. But yeah. And
American made, folks. American made. That's
right. For all those listening right now, usually you see Cameron sitting where I'm at, but he's not. He's under the weather. We'll just put it that way. He's under the weather.
He was forced to be chicken and not come on the show.
Yeah. I doubt if he eats any more of that, tell you the truth. And my pastor's wife gave me some of that herring stuff that I got in a can on later shows that we'll do a challenge if I can eat it or not. So we'll wait and see on that. Sure.
I actually just opened up some anchovies and put them on a Caesar salad last night. Love my
Oh God.
anchovies.
Oh, I can't eat those sardines. They're nasty. Yeah. He was forced to eat dog food and he did it on the show. I still think he has a tequila sickness. Oh, he probably had the hot sauce that he was downing with the dog food. Sickness is probably what he's got. All I know is he got sick several times that night on the dog food and the next day. But he was doing pretty good. He was good last week. Today he ate some chicken. That wasn't good.
Yeah, talking about chicken, you and I were talking before we were coming on the show because I was saying, we can talk about different things that we need to do.
Right.
For those of us that are fortunate enough to raise some chicken on our property, that may not be a bad idea because it's not a matter of if, it's now a matter of when we are going to be shut down nationwide. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist here, but electricity is going to be shut. The cell phones are going to be shut. TV is going to be down. Carl, maybe you can enlighten the audience here on something you told me about. By the way, yes, folks, pay really great attention to this information and advice. Carl, would you please now continue?
Oh, about the solar setup I showed you?
Yes, you came out to my house and set it up
Right.
in less than 10 minutes, if not less than 5.
Oh, yeah. It's just a little 100-watt system. Set it up, pulled the battery out, the charge controller, and the converter out, and had it set up in less than 10 minutes to show him how he could have 1,500 watts of power right there instantly. Showed him how it was charging the system up and stuff. All that together was done under $500.
So, folks, I guess it's kind of one of those moments. And really, again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but is it possible? Yes. And why do I say that? Well, I'm hoping, I still have hopes. All ballots, by the way, must be contained once the election is over. And they are going through audit processes within different states. There's been a lot of enlightenment. We really do need to get rid of course, this administration.
Right.
It's destroying America. Government's number one priority should be the safety of the American people. Quote, paraphrasing Trey Gowdy.
Right.
But that makes a lot of sense. But, if they shut everything down, we're going to be SOL, folks.
Right. And mainly I got my little 100-watt system for here in Missouri, especially in the wintertime, we get power outages from ice storms, snowstorms, different things like that. My solar panels are amorphous panels and they will charge in almost any condition. I can charge them up at nighttime underneath the LED light outside the house in the driveway, right? So I got that. So if we have a storm come in, I can hook the battery and converter up, use the energy stored in it, put the solar panels out if I need to recharge it. But I can have that in there. I can plug my TV in and see when the electricity's coming on, or check weather if it's getting worse out, or anything like that. I mean, there's a lot of things I can do with it. 1,500 watts, I can make me a pot of coffee if I wanted, but no, I go out to my fire pit out here, start a fire, and I got a coffee deal that sets on it and makes my coffee. So I'm not really a prepper, but I look at things that will help out in situations. I also use it, as you all know, on another show that I do called Paranormal Nation Radio, where I'm a paranormal investigator. We go to places that don't have electricity, cemeteries and such like that. I can charge equipment up with it while we're out there.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I think we need to go for a moment and go up here to Gary. Pastor Gary said that he heard that Cameron was starting to bark and howl.
Right.
I myself, I thought he meant he started barfing.
Right. Well, he did barf a lot. As far as him going and barking like a dog, no, Cameron didn't do that. I can guarantee that. If that boy is sick enough and he's not on this show, he's sick. I can tell you that from anything right there.
And go ahead,
You
keep
talked
me
about
on.
prepping on your show today, the basic needs. Okay. I will I got to watch that tomorrow. Scott, you don't mind if I show some of your YouTube videos on my Wake Up Gallatin show in the mornings, do you?
I can tell you right now, he's going to say, of course, show them, please. He's an involved American, Carl.
I know. He likes getting his word out.
I mean, check this out. He's got a 3,000 watt converter so he can even power his RV.
Right. And that's what I'm talking about.
And his air conditioning.
Okay, Scott. Yeah, I will. I'll show the good ones on there and stuff. But that's what I was telling you needed was a 3,000 watt inverter. That way you can run your refrigerator.
Scott, all your shows are good, I'm sure.
Yeah. If you want to check out Scott's shows, go to Scooter's Brass on YouTube.
Say that again, please.
Scooter's Brass.
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
To check Scott's
shows.
There you go.
Okay. Not when I do DQ. Okay. Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, I'm lost on the DQ.
Well, way I take DQ is
Dairy Queen?
That's what I took it as, but I know it's not. I'm going to say that much. Scott's going to, inquisitive minds are wondering. We'll put it that way. Disqualification. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because you got to remember, Scott is a competitive shooter.
And Scott, some days you eat the bear, and let's hope that the bear never gets to eat you.
Right. But he's
so you got to take the good with the bad. Being a competitive shooter, you know as well as I do, we're all, as men, most men, not all men, most men that have any kind of self-respect, they compete. I love winning chess games, but there are times I lose, but I'll learn something hopefully out of that chess game.
Oh, you play chess?
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Oh,
I haven't played in years.
Good.
So you can probably stomp me for a while.
We're going to get up there and you get that bottle refilled and we'll play a game of chess.
All right, you're on.
A shot for every piece taken.
Believe it or ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that could be interesting. I've got a chessboard right behind me.
Good.
Literally 3 feet away.
Yeah, Scott, that's great. You haven't shot yourself or anybody. Now, I'm not saying the redhead hadn't shot at you a couple times, maybe. He'll come back with that. When he's on here, he talks about his wife, Kara. She's a sweetheart. Right. She's a sweetheart. But he calls her the angry redhead. But she is a sweetheart. You'll see him on the shows and stuff.
Oh, he said she's missed him a couple times, I guess.
Oh, she missed him. Well, only on purpose because she's a good shot. I know that.
But getting back down there, you know, we're talking about getting shot. When you said that Mike Miller down there in Texas on his ranch got shot at, several bullets went between the 2 side doors of the back seat. And normally he has his wife and kids back there, from what I was told.
They were lucky.
Yes, and see, the thing is, it's what they're not telling us. There were two border patrol agents that were shot at about 6 weeks ago, and airtime on it was, I think, probably total airtime, all major networks, was probably somewhere around 16 minutes. That's pretty
Right.
sad.
I'm trying to check what's going on the computer. Oh, I know what it is. I could end the broadcast on the
Well,
other show. On the other
you
show.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got Carl's juggling here.
Yeah.
Um, he's our producer, director. He even works on wardrobe and props.
Yeah. As you can tell, I haven't been up to change his wardrobe for a while.
Yeah, yes. Everyone says to me, "Why do I wear the same thing?" I'm all about, I guess, consistency.
The only thing he don't have on right now that he usually does that wasn't in the prop system is his holsters and his 45. But I know
Yes.
they're not far away. So
No.
anyway, but no, I produce shows and everything, and I'm the new producer, and we have a new show on the network called Warriors for America. The host is Mike Miller from Warriors for Ranchers, and he'll be doing his show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Check him out. He was just live on the Bill of Rights Network from Pleasanton, Texas, at the United We Stand, Divided We Fall meeting they had at the convention center. So that just ended on there. That's what I was doing there a little bit ago.
And he
Ending
started.
the,
And he started at what, 2:30 this afternoon? You said.
yeah, he started at 2:30. They had several good speakers down there. He
So
got
that
them
doesn't. If that doesn't tell me he is truly a warrior for the ranchers. I mean, from what I can tell, he's going to be a great addition to this network. I think he's going to be stellar.
right.
Uh, he's getting a new computer. His kid, I think, is going to get the computer he has now. But seriously, folks, he's a true American who's living the nightmare. It's no longer living a dream. He's living a nightmare,
Right.
and it destroys us. Our prayers and sympathies go out to each and every one of those men and women that are on the border, and the people in the cities and towns there. They are just as they are just going through so many trials and tribulations. It's sad. So any support you can throw in the direction of Mike Miller, and yeah, I do it. Anything.
Go
Warriors for ranchers.
warriorsforranchers.com. You can go over there. You can donate. All the money goes to help the ranchers down on the border in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and everything. It helps them all repair the fences that are being tore up, repair buildings that are being destroyed. He even is helping people that if their vehicles get stolen by an illegal immigrant, right? They contact Mike. He gets with them. They both call the insurance company so the people can give them permission for Mike to talk to them and everything on it. The Warriors for Ranchers pays the deductible on their insurance. So that's more things. But if you feel like you can donate, go over to warriorsforranchers.com, his website. There's a place there you can donate and stuff. It's great show. During the show the other night, while we had him on HTX Renegade Radio, we had people in our chat room donating $25. Several of them donated to the cause.
And no donation is too small, by the way, folks.
Right. Anything
No
you can
donation.
afford.
Yeah. Don't break yourselves naturally. You've got to be able to take care of yourself before you can help and take care of others. But any little thing you can give away or offer will be greatly, I'm sure, appreciated by he and his staff. And again, for the American, and notice a show that Carl is putting together for him, Warriors for America. It says he's not only caring about the ranchers, but that's his cause, but he's caring about the people here in America.
He's letting everybody know what's going on down and around the area and all over the United States. People are calling in where busloads of these illegals are coming into the towns and they're putting them up in motels.
Through Catholic churches.
Yeah, but some of it's through the government. Did you see what they was doing down at Fort Bliss?
Yes, they put up the tent cities.
Right.
And those tent cities went up within 24 hours.
But that's a military base, Air Force base down there, right?
Right.
You don't see civilian aircraft.
Commercial airlines are landing.
Commercial airlines are flying in now and stuff. That has never happened on a military base. That don't happen.
So, anyone that thinks that they need to be one-sided or the other, that you have to be a Republican or you have to be a liberal or you have to be a Democrat or you have to be an independent, that doesn't matter right now.
No, be an American.
Be an American. And look at what's happening. I mean, it's hitting everybody. I mean, again, going back to the mask mandates, they're going all over the country. They're not wearing masks. They're not being tested.
Right.
They are bringing diseased people, allowing diseased people across our border.
Right, Scott. Military bases are for military. Exactly right. You shouldn't have a commercial airline flying in, loading up, and flying out behind blacked out fences.
Scott just gave me an idea. Scott just gave me an idea for a movie.
What's that?
Right now, with what's going on, cartel members are there. They take over the military base.
Yeah. Well, you had reports coming out on the show the other night, and we had it on HTX, and we had it on Mike Miller's show, that outside McAllen, I think it was, down there, they were warning people. Simple Man sent messages to his family down there. They checked it out. On a highway out there going between two of the big towns, there was a cartel stop point out there, ran by cartel members, stopping vehicles and checking them. They were looking for somebody. Now, why couldn't Texas Highway Patrol, Border Patrol, Texas Rangers go out there and take care of that?
Or maybe a couple Tomcats.
Or a couple of the locals.
I
know.
I mean,
it's bad to say that. That's one reason why they don't want me living in Texas. Seriously. I grow up, you come do something on my property, it ain't going to be good. Right? All you can do down there is capture them, turn them over to the Border Patrol, and then wait a week and they're back.
Catch and release. Catch and release.
Tomcats were retired, unfortunately. I love that plane. Exactly. It worked great.
Yeah, but Scott, I was hoping that maybe someone in the civilian world might have bought a couple.
I'm waiting for these guys that do hog hunts down there in Texas from helicopters to go to the borders, close to the border, 50, 60 miles from the border. Oh, there's a hog. Oh, sorry. Thought it was a hog.
Hey, Miranda, what's going on, girl?
She's probably at home waiting for her mom to get back so she can get back to her apartment because she's dog sitting at her mom's place.
I like this one. I'm going to make a joke on this one here. Tom, you wrote, let me work on that. Give me a couple of weeks. That would be wonderful. You may want to go contact the pawn shop over there with Pawn Stars. I imagine Rick might have a tank or something available.
There you go. Warthog and an A10. That'll work. That'll definitely work. I wouldn't mind having an Apache. I could really have fun down on the border. Till the Air Force decided I didn't need to be there. But anyway.
you know, we're having a little, trying to have a little laugh at here and, or I try to.
Oh yeah.
Personally, I have to try, because if I don't, and like a lot of people, we just drive ourselves insane. Looking at what's going on is a true definition of life's insanity.
The Apache
You know?
helicopter is built about 10 miles from here. I see them every day. Awesome vehicle. Yes, it is an awesome vehicle. Yeah, I'll agree. But yeah, here on the Bill of Rights Network, you know most of our shows and our hosts, right?
Right.
All except for Vincent, myself, and Dan. All the rest of them are in Texas. And they're three of them's in the Houston area, one's up by Austin, and the other one is down by the border.
Well, I did tell you, I've got a friend of mine up in Minnesota who's chomping at the bit, who's considering having a podcast as well. He's up in Minnesota and Minneapolis,
Right.
which again is a Democratic city, 5 miles of what's called Lake Street. Beautiful, beautiful Lake Street. That's all I can say. Beautiful shops, restaurants, theaters, art galleries, you name it. 5 miles of it now is a complete, utter war zone.
Right.
Concrete barriers, chain link fence, pimps, prostitutes, drug sales, gun sales, probably robbing people, right there on the street, broad daylight.
Oh, I know. It's getting bad. Bad. That's one reason, knock on wood, I'm glad we live in Missouri.
Yes.
You know.
No, but I would love to get. I'm hoping, like I told you,
Kansas City
Jersey.
and St. Louis, you know, they're bad. We hear murders and everything going on every day down there. But out in the rural area out here, very little crime because we all have guns.
No, I don't think it's so much that as it is that we all have self-respect and respect for other people.
Yeah, that too, but we also have guns because a lot of the crimes up here aren't from our local people.
That's also very true.
You know, we had a fake cop up here running the highways for a while. Who, in their right mind, stops somebody and issues them a citation from the state of New York when you're in Gallatin, Missouri?
And don't forget to mention the white van that was behind.
Yeah, the white van that was in front. It pulled in front of the vehicle and pulled around. That was a setup getting ready to happen. It just didn't happen to be the right type they were looking for because it was about a 65-year-old lady that they stopped.
But I would imagine if it was a young woman that had 2 children, that might have turned into a totally
we wouldn't have heard about that. We would have heard about them missing.
Yes.
You know.
Abducted.
Right. This lady, at least she was smart. After she got stopped and got the citation, she drove right up to the sheriff's department here in town and showed them. Wipey has 37 guns and I only have 1. Yeah. But I'm so sorry that you lost them all in the boating accident. I'm really sad to hear that. You didn't know that, did you?
What's that?
Cameron lost all his guns in a boating accident.
Really?
Yeah. You've never heard us say that on this show?
No.
Yeah.
How many guns did he lose altogether?
All of them.
12, 14?
Higher.
When did this happen?
As soon as the show started.
Wow.
When they was talking about coming for your weapons, right? Whenever all this first started with the people we got in the White House now and everything, when they was trying to pass the bill 1427, I think it was, where you had to register all of them and pay a tax and all this and that. It's just Cameron started making a joke That's all right. I went boating. My boat went down, had all my guns on it. Got the point? Yeah. Yeah. Scott says the boating accident was horrible. It took my gun safe with a nice day at the lake and it jumped overboard. Yep. They're in the bottom of the lake. Go find them.
Oh.
Oh, finally. Oh, let's give Vincent a hand there, folks. Everybody clap in the chat room. Come on, clap for him.
Hey, I'm used to it. I'm used to it.
It went like this and it went. Oh.
Yeah, I feel sorry for him. I do. I heard about it. Now I think about it. I do believe I heard something about that.
Right. And like Scott said, don't forget the insurance. That was like $1,000 per year. Right. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I hope. Yeah, it'd be nice to see him collect on that one.
Yeah, but it's always a joke and everything. If you ever see Cameron, because Cameron will pull his pistol out and show people his pistol or one of his ARs and stuff like that, and he goes, "But the bad thing is, all the rest of them went down in the boat." Sets it down, goes, "But I do have one by the door for protection, one underneath my pillowcase. All the rest of them are in the gun safe over there, but the others went down in the boat."
Yeah, my girlfriend, she just chimed in saying, "Ha ha ha." Yeah, I guess she got it before me, but I'm always, sometimes I'm Johnny come lately.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And naturally, of course, I don't mind. It usually happens. I'm usually the brunt or the butt end of a joke. So,
Scott?
Yeah, thank you. I got it. I feel sorry for Cameron. If he needs a written affidavit as far as a witness, I'll be more than glad to help him on that.
Right. Scott, I don't know why your broadcast gets stopped all the time when you show your gun. We go live on Facebook and YouTube and all that, and Cameron pulls his gun out. We have the shooting channel with Dan that shows his guns. It's on YouTube. It never gets banished. So I have to find out why your gun videos get stopped. They get banned.
Well, it's not. I don't think Scott's threatening to hey, check this out. I'm going to shoot my foot.
That you got it right there, Scott. You got it exactly right in that saying right there. And we have had discussions on our show with you about this. YouTube doesn't like liberal gun owners. And that's what I like about.
Yeah, but how do they know he's actually Scott, how do they know he's a liberal gun owner?
He tells them. But anyway, and we've said it on the show. We talked to him when he came on the show, and everything. Yeah, he's a liberal. There's some things that we won't agree on. That's fine. But he's a big supporter of the Second Amendment. And the media out here portrays liberals that they don't support the Second Amendment. And it's not right. Scott's got lots of friends. He knows lots of liberals that all have guns and support the Second Amendment ranch. And for that, I applaud him. We may disagree on other things and everything, but we can always talk about it. That's the nice part.
And Scott, hip, hip, hooray for you carrying a Constitution with you. It's a little tiny book that you can pick up, which is wonderful. And all I can say is, more people have to look at that, for instance, as being maybe their vaccine passport. My body, my health, my choice.
Crystal had one of those on the live auction the other night. A little Constitution book.
Sure. My Trumpy bear is holding mine right now.
Right. So, but yeah, everything's been going good up around here as far as gun ownership, everything. We are doing an experiment with one of our local medical marijuana dispensaries. One of the ladies that's in charge in there has a medical marijuana card. And as far as I know, if you have one, you can't purchase a weapon. So she's interested in buying a handgun anyway. So she's going to film her entire operation going in to purchase a gun with a medical marijuana card and see if the background clicks it out.
Scott is showing here about how he came through the COVID, and he has no vaccine passport as of yet. And actually, he's saying that he did suffer through it. Scott, glad that you did make it through. Through it. But really, now that you have COVID, you could go get the vaccine, but your T cell immunity should protect you from perhaps the Delta variant, unless that was the one you had. But, with or without the vaccine, people are coming down with the COVID. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Amongst many other health issues with the vaccine. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You with me on this one?
Yeah.
And so you've got all these other health issues. Again, you have to go to your doctor. You have to, discuss it with he or she, them. And, you should be able to walk around without a mask. I myself, sometimes I put a mask on when I'm, in certain places because, well, you have to know your surroundings.
Right. Like Scott said, the worst part about it, he couldn't taste bacon or steak, which was the worst part. Yeah, he's a big steak eater and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that would tear me up if I can't taste. Of course, you didn't know you had COVID at the time. You thought you just had a real bad cold, real bad flu.
Sinus infection, maybe.
You're right. Because
I said this before. I'm not a doctor or nurse, but I went through the Boy Scout program, and our motto was "Be prepared."
Yep.
And seriously, Carl, I know it sounds a little crazy, but this is what I did for me. And that was gold Listerine a couple times a day, pumped in a lot of vitamin D3, took silver, zinc, and drank Schweppes tonic water, which has quinine in it. All those things combined, I'm not saying it's a cure, but I'm hoping by keeping up with that kind of a diet, let's say, a regiment of self-medicating,
Mm-hmm.
I hope I won't get it.
Right. And that's what I said. You remember when all this first started and they were talking about the people who could get it and who couldn't get it? You remember them saying that if you had O negative blood, you couldn't get it?
I think I remember hearing something like that.
I have O negative blood. I don't take vitamins. I don't take anything. And I haven't had it.
For people out there, this is a little prayer warrior that I know. Her name is Elisa. And I think Gary I can't wait till the 29th. I won't say anything more than that, by the way, Carl.
Yeah, don't.
But it's nice that people have faith. And in this case, she's suggesting that everyone read Psalms 91 every day. Exactly. Every prayer and any prayer is good prayer.
Yeah. Fireball whiskey is the cure to COVID-19. Well, I agree. That'll burn anything out. It's good stuff, but it'll burn everything out. Let me tell you. That's some hot whiskey. Woo. But yeah, I mean, this COVID thing and what they're doing now, bringing back the mask mandates, which it's all in Kansas City area close to us, an hour away. Mask mandate, every inside place you have to wear a mask. They're fighting some of the schools down there and everything about having to wear masks. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen in our school up here when it starts. If they're going to be required to wear masks in there if there is, I see a lot of people pulling their kids out and doing homeschooling.
And that's what parents see. The people are now. I watch Fox News, as you would know. That's my number one news source. I like Tucker Carlson. I like Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham. I know everyone has their opinions of those different people. But seriously speaking, so they are now beginning to talk about things like, well, what do we do as a nation? And one of the very first things that people need to do is to go to your city council meetings and go and get involved in your parent teachers associations. Qualify your teachers that you have for your children. And by the way, this is coming from a guy that has no dog in the fight. I have no children, but this is common sense.
It's all right. You pay the taxes to the school. You have a voice. The way I look at it.
Yes. And even single men like myself that never had kids still had to pay taxes. And I still would have had a voice in there. And I do today still, if I wanted to, of course.
Right.
And I do to a degree. I've got my own thing going on, But, your parents and people need to start getting involved in your local city council, your local teachers. You got to realize that critical race theory is a horrible subject matter in kindergarten through 12th grade, because in short, it teaches these children to be guilty, the white kids to feel white privileged and that they're oppressors, and that the black children are victims and that they're oppressed. And that's not true. That's just simply not true. But CRT could be taught, and I've read enough about it. It's okay if you want to take it as a college elective.
Right. I'm going to read what Scott put up there. The first thing we need to do is stop demonizing everyone that doesn't agree with you. Correct. And realize that the media, social media, is what keeps America from treating each other with respect, regardless of political ideology. Exactly. I agree with that and everything. We don't need to put each other down and everything. But if you listen to social media, the media out there and stuff, they're the ones keeping up the racist problem going on. Back and forth and back and forth.
Bloody right? Biden.
Yeah. I mean, they're controlled by the media all the way up to the top up there. And Scott, it's ridiculous.
And I don't think Scott heard me in the beginning of the show, but it's like you and I, even though we're 8 miles away, we aren't technically neighbors, but we can agree to disagree.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what Scott's saying in short. We've got to be able to, and he says, well, we can't demonize. Well, the thing is, once you've had enough of years as a Trump supporter of being called a communist, of being called a racist, of being called a liar or a believer of a liar, you kind of say, you know what? It's time to fight fire with fire and demonize Cory Bush, demonize our president, vice president, Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, Schumer, demonize McConnell, Mitt Romney, Adam Zinginger. You got to go out. Fauci, Frank and Fauci. They deserve to be demonized because they are, in fact, evil people.
Oh, yeah. And that's what everybody's going to look at. But like saying, if everybody agreed on everything in this world or this country, this would be the most boringest place on the face of the earth to live. Because you got to have discussion back and forth.
Well, yeah, you do. And the funny part about it is our last breath.
As a politician, you probably did, Scott. And I can understand that. Most people look at all politicians as crooks. It don't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. That's the way the majority of the people look at them. And it don't matter what office you're running from. Somebody's going to dig up dirt to put on you so that you don't get the votes. It just depends on who's digging the most dirt up or making the dirt up in a lot
And
of
everyone
cases.
has skeletons, Carl.
Oh, yeah, everybody does. You know, there's stuff that, yeah, I did as a teenager. I'm not proud. Stuff I did in the military. You know, I was proud to serve in the military, but some of the stuff I did in there, ooh, it could come back and bite me one day.
Well, that was a whole thing. You were talking about politicians and something I love to point out about Donald J. Trump. First off, I was 14 in 1974, and I was watching him and following him being from the East Coast. But he wasn't a politician. He owed no one a penny. Didn't have any special lobbyists or interest groups. And you have to look at these politicians. You have to look at your liberal part of politicians and figure out how is it that on a, let's say I'm just going to throw this out here so it's easy with numbers. But in 10 years of service, $200,000 a year comes out to $2 million. Why do you have $200 million in your bank account?
Exactly.
Nancy Pelosi fits that billet. Maxine Waters fits that billet. Many of them do. Many of them do.
Right. And I understand what you're saying, Scott. You know, you put up your dirt out to the public and everything, and one of your politicians against you had a voter outreach at a stripper club. He probably got elected.
That's just it. You don't know maybe you just didn't know the playground you were on, Scott. You have to be a little bit more 360.
Right.
And I don't know.
Exactly, Scott. So many other Mitch McConnell and many Republicans.
Yeah,
and dirt like them. It's crazy.
And I've listed several, Scott, by the way. I hope you're not getting all sensitive and upset with personally me.
He's not.
Okay.
We talk about this all the time.
I don't mean to be offensive.
No, we make sure everybody understands, it doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican and stuff out here. We go after the people that are doing wrong things. They could be, one side might be heavier than the other, but we still go after both sides.
And you're going after the ones that aren't doing their jobs.
Exactly.
Josh Hawley, Tom Cotton, Rand Paul. Those are men that Jim Jordan, Jim Banks. Those are men, and there's a list of them. I mean, Governor DeSantis, Governor Abbott, these people, Governor Nome. I mean, these men and women are good people that are doing for us. We have to clean up the bad ones. We have to get the bad Republicans and the bad Democrats out. And the only way we can do that is vote in 2022. 2022.
Right.
Now we got to get 22.
Like Scott says, he wasn't getting sensitive or upset. He just wants people to understand that there are liberals and conservatives that agree that our government isn't respecting the people. You're exactly right. Yeah. The government does not respect we, the people. The government does not respect this American flag.
No, he's saying representing the people.
Yeah, but they don't represent the people anymore. They consider representing the people as them.
Yep, they are self-serving, narcissistic individuals that are just after power and money, and just so long as they are taken care of, that is all that matters. Term limits have to be put into place.
Right. And that's why on this network, we defend the First and Second Amendment. Without those two amendments right there, our Constitution will crumble. Yeah, that pretty much covers it. That's exactly right. I mean, it's what this country was founded on. They're saying up there now that our forefathers were racist. They could have been, but they developed this country on a set of rules under God and wrote the Constitution of the United States, wrote the Bill of Rights. They did everything up there.
And you know, the whole thing with what you're talking about, you know, we talk about slavery always coming to play because they were racist, you know. But the thing is, we've had slavery for thousands of years from many different cultures, and now you see which ones survived and which ones did not.
You're right.
No,
You're not responsible for the actions of your forefathers. You're only responsible for your own action. Correct. Exactly.
it's a
And
no-brainer.
you're a big fan of the turn limits. Same thing here. And I want your comment put in. Okay. Say if we get term limits in 2 terms, just like the president on everything. Do you think they should get the same pay when they get out of their second term for the rest of their life?
No,
I don't.
no. Now, see, the old politicians back in the 1817, 1800s, into the 1900s, what they did was the politicians of those cities that they represented, they would come out to Washington for a few weeks, several times a year, take care of the government business, and go back to their businesses at home. What we've got right now is called big government, and big government wants to control the little people, and the little people who are so happy getting a little something is better than a whole lot of nothing. They rely on these people who have made life long terms, and it's wrong. It's
Exactly. What happened? There we are. Okay.
Wrong. Either which way it goes, yeah, but Scott, that's a wonderful idea. But either which way it goes, it has to be implemented. Doesn't matter if it's 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, 12 years. It has to be something that's limited.
Right.
And they cannot continue getting benefits. In other words, they get their Social Security when they turn 65.
Well, it's like he says down there. They become regular citizens and are responsible for their own livelihood.
Correct.
And that's the way it should be.
But that's not the way it is.
You know, to be honest, I was stupid as a teenager. I should have got into politics and ran and got elected one time. One time. I'd be set for life.
It's better than being in any union.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not a fan of the union. I really am not. When I drove over the road, I have drove through many a picket lines. Yes. And as I told them, you're doing this out here. I don't care what you're doing out there. You start destroying my equipment that I pay for out of my money, then we got a problem.
I was in local 264, 663, and 1290 out of Kansas, the other 2 out of Missouri, and as a laborer. And the card that you get says International Brotherhood of Laborers. Unfortunately, the company I worked for, you had to work within the 9-county area of Kansas City. This is where they get you, by the way.
Yep.
You have to work in a 9-county area in order to be vested into your retirement. So if you were taken out of state, you still got your pay, but you didn't have any vested money in your medical for your family. Right. You had no vested money in your retirement coming up. And right now, I'm faced with a situation about what's called the national right to work. Now, the only thing that stops me from supporting the national right to work is the fact that with a union, and again, it goes back to something that's I just said about Trey Gowdy and his quotes of government number one priority should be safety. Well, with the union, the number one priority again is safety, that the men and women know their tasks, that they're safe from burning themselves, catching themselves with acids, what have you, that they know how to read barrels or boxes of. So that's the thing that stops me, because a lot of people don't have common sense to not be protected by or with the rights to work.
Right.
That's my take on it.
Oh, I know. I totally agree. It's ridiculous. But
and I do agree with Scott there about as teenagers, but Scott, that's every teenager. It's called the learning curve.
Right. You know.
Anyone, I look at it like this: anyone who lives past, say, 40 and is still a liberal, you got to find a base. You've got to find God, country, respect. You've got to find God, country, family, respect for women and children, elderly, conservative views. We need smaller government and larger people. We need the mom and dad stores back. We don't need Amazon. I'm sorry. I've not ordered anything on Amazon my entire life.
Oh, I have.
I won't.
I get a good deal on there. So used to, because now you order it and it takes forever to get it. But yeah, I mean, it's the way things are going around here in this country, watching out and everything. I just seen one of the news things on YouTube. Something government up in Washington, D.C. We got to watch, I think it's tomorrow and then on Wednesday. Keep an eye on what's coming out in the news, because they're talking, it could be a mandatory shutdown again. And I told you here a couple of weeks ago, be prepared for it.
Well, like I said to you, common sense. I don't want to see the kids wearing masks.
Right.
Kids don't need it. The science data does not support kids needing it.
Capitalism is great, but without monopoly laws, it always turns out terrible.
And Article 230 is a prime example of Section 230, is a prime example of monopolizing when it comes to big tech. And that's why we need to get in, break Facebook up, break all of them up. Because people need that platform to speak. And when you are big enough to take the sitting president of the United States and even the German chancellor, Merkel, chancellor, she even said, this is wrong.
Yeah.
She was the first one to come out and say it. Then several other political leaders around the world said it was just completely wrong to take Donald Trump off and keep ISIS and the Taliban on.
Yeah. Did you check out the two ladies they call mama bears up in Iowa?
Oh, the mama bears. If I'm not, now correct me if I'm wrong. Was it about the education and the masks?
Yep.
Teachers. Oh, yep. Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to be on Mike Miller's show. He's real good friends with him. He's going to go on tour with them as they talk about it. But yeah, them two ladies fought all the way to the state capitol to fight the laws about the children wearing masks at school and about the education they're getting, and they've won.
In the late spring, out of Loudoun County, Virginia, there were several citizens who spoke up at city council meetings regarding the NEA, the National Education Association, and the American Federation of Teachers, saying, hey, guess what? No mask mandates, no CRT. We've got black men and black women, and I mean, God bless them. God bless them for their articulation, for their passion, for their feelings that, pushing racism down the throats of children is wrong. Masking these children is wrong. And myself, having left the laborers union as a health, safety, environmental engineer for a company, you wear a mask, which is useless, by the way. A paper mask is useless. They know this. But the paper mask is useless, but you're still depriving yourself of oxygen, and the buildup of carbon monoxide, inside that mask is damaging children's brains, their mental well-beings, their social skills. It's destroying still another big generation of. So we do have to stand up and say, no, No to mandates. People are getting COVID with or without the vaccine.
Read this. Got a couple of them here I want to read from Jonathan. Yes, they have far too much power. I respect private companies' rights, but when they have such a huge reach, there need to be laws protecting all individuals participating in the platforms. I totally agree.
Where is Jonathan? Where are you from, brother? What state, please?
Then here's another one. At this point, whether the COVID-19 pandemic was real, it's no longer real and is only a power grab now.
It's a narrative.
I'm glad that Texas has made a point to make known states are more powerful.
Yes, meaning the people. We the people. Very good statement, Jonathan. Very good statement. Where are you from? What state? Like to hear that.
Scott, down in Arizona, my mask when I'm at work is a full face 3M face mask with particle and chemical filter. Of course, I'm in the semiconductor industry. Yeah, I can understand that.
You have to wear that, Scott. Really, I think it's called a P35 or P65. I can't remember all of them. But anyway, naturally, we can walk around with these big masks. But you know what? It makes it easy for the criminal, too.
Jonathan, I'm originally from California, currently stationed in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, United States Navy. My hat's off to you, Jonathan.
Love the Navy. I was in the Navy. Always a sailor. My expiration date hasn't ended.
Thank
you for serving, Jonathan. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for watching over here.
Yes.
The more military people we get watching the shows that we have on the Bill of Rights Network, it gets stronger and stronger.
You know, really, Jonathan, and I think you'd agree with what I'm going to say. It does not matter what branch of service you are in. It only matters that you realize that you're serving the country, and all of us who served, we come away with some bad situations. Some don't come back. So, man, thank you for being in there. Seriously.
Yeah, Scott, your mom was in the Navy for 23 years. She always told me that in the Navy there was no wrong hoe. Ha ha. Anyway, Scott puts in there, and I want him to explain this in the comments. I can't wear a mask when he's carrying his handgun.
Sure.
It's against the law. I want to know why. That kind of threw me for a loop on that one.
What state is Scott from?
Arizona.
Okay. That's right. I'm sorry.
But if you had a mandatory mask mandate, like we did here in Missouri for a while, right? Supposed to have had. I only wore them when I had to. Arizona revised statutes. Oh, I'm going to have to look that up. That's interesting. That'll be on a good story.
Scott, have you heard about the second sanctuary state that Missouri is, and several other states? Because Josh Hawley made that happen with Governor Parsons.
And you don't have a mandatory mask mandate. So in other words, you can't wear your mask at work and carry a gun. I take it that way. But if you're wearing a mask outside the business, you got the concealed carry or carry permit, whatever, that shouldn't have anything to do with it. And then Jonathan says they're trying to workify the military, and it's absolutely garbage. I joined to defend our core values, and it's painful watching how many are so bluntly ignorant. Exactly right, Jonathan. You said it exactly right, brother.
And I'm going to throw this out to Jonathan. I would imagine all the men and women that you are working with and surrounded by, all of you think the same way, which is we bleed red.
And like he said, that's also strange. You can't arm up while wearing a mask. Wow, that's a crazy loophole to bypass the Second Amendment. I know, Scott, you're in a really, really bad area and you love feeling safe for carrying. I understand that, but I'm going to get Cameron on that one. I want some research done on that. If you mask up, you can't carry. A new statute, revised statute. That, I'll Make
So
sure I
this is,
make a note of that, and I'm gonna sit Cameron on that one. You know, Cameron, when he bites in on something, he bites in on it.
well, I'd like to know why Scott State hasn't tried to push the Second Amendment sanctuary state, make it a Second Amendment sanctuary state.
I want to know why a lot of other states haven't done it. We've had a lot of states do it.
A couple of years ago, I'm going to say 4 years ago, I visited Texas, and I was down in San Antonio walking on the grounds of the Alamo,
Yeah.
and I did not have my 45 at that time. I had left my holsters at home, all holsters, shoulder holsters, everything. But anyway, I had my sidearm in my belt. You can see it, and I had some of the game wardens, by the way, came over, and they said, "You've got to carry that in a holster." And I thought to myself, wow, now that would be a very good state law with a Second Amendment sanctuary state to incorporate that well as well. You've got to have it in a holster, or it's a carry conceal in your pocket. We don't see it, you know. But if you're going to openly display it, it should be openly displayed properly in a holster, and that's what I agree with. So,
the way I look at it that way is, you see somebody out and they got the gun in the holster. I don't think they're a thug. If they've got it stuck down in their inside their pants, in their belt loop, just freely there, walking around, I know that's stereotyping somebody, but in my opinion, I got to watch that person real close.
I got pulled over by a state trooper.
I would like
and
to say
I
that
said to him, I have my sidearm. He could see it. I said, I have my sidearm with me. He said, if yours stays in a holster, mine will too.
Jonathan says, I would like to say that my peers believe the same as I. Maybe they believe in serving their country, but I don't believe they are very aware of our originals. These new generations are willing to give. Exactly. The new generation, and I'm sure in the Navy, you see the new generation. I'm sure you have served quite a few years, the way I see you talking in the chat room. The new military that is out there is a whole different military than what we used to have.
They're giving up so many personal freedoms without any questions, and they don't know how to think for themselves. They only spit out what they read.
Exactly.
Carl, please reinforce this if you don't mind. Jonathan, I'm saying this to you directly because you're worthy. Thank you in all so many ways, by the way. But on several of my podcasts, I've always said anything that makes you think, makes you question, that makes you act in a positive way, mind you, that's living life.
Right.
And when it gets to the point where they're telling you how to think, what not to question or how to question, then you know you've got your freedom and liberties are being taken away big time.
Right. Well, it's just like Bo Cephas, our brother down there in Texas, that just got out of the service, out of the Army, as a drill sergeant for 6 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the last few years, he's seen in there the type of people that were going through boot camp and what their rules for the drill sergeant were compared to when I was in and everything. And him, even years before that, have changed dramatically. You had to give them timeouts. My drill sergeant didn't give me no timeout. My drill sergeant said, drop and give me 20, 30, 40, 50. And he counted slow. That was the slowest counting man I ever seen in my life. His one would go 1, and you're going, okay. Then he'd go 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, Try doing 20 of them like that when you're going, mm, up like that. No.
You know, you're talking about how the discipline that would be the physical conditioning of the American soldier,
Oh,
be
I
it a
mean,
sailor,
getting
Air
in your
Force.
face, and their
Yeah.
job is to break you down. That
Now,
is their job.
all right, Carl. Now let me ask you this. I already have my answer to this question. Okay.
Uh-huh.
But when do you think things in the military changed so drastically that they brought up what would be considered ceremonial practices? What ceremonial practice do you recall that they said, "Oh, we have to stop doing that"?
We didn't have any.
You never
No.
went through hazing?
Oh, no. No, we didn't do that.
Okay, yeah, we had hazing still.
We
That's
didn't.
where you get your pin and you get punched on it. And everyone gets to go by and punch that pin, and your chest is just black and blue from the little, metal.
No, we didn't do
But they
that.
stopped doing that. And to me, hazing was like it was like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
I mean, it just made you what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. What is a punch to your chest?
Well, you look at, I went into basic training in 1979. Okay. Got to boot camp, started all this. We got into the armory, handed the M16. They're going to teach us how to take it apart and clean it and all that and everything, get used to it. They hand it to me. I look down at it and I go, hold it. He goes, what? And I said, you gave me a toy. It says Mattel. He goes, that's one of the very first ones. They used them in Vietnam. And I went, a toy company made these rifles?
Wow.
And he goes, yeah. Everybody else was using Colts and stuff. There was only 3 or 4 of us that had the Mattels. They were the same thing, just had different markings on them and everything. And it was hot. And when I had to go out and shoot it, in your mind, it's shooting a live bullet through a gun that was made by a toy manufacturer. That blew my mind away. But then the worst thing is when, they gave you tracer rounds to fire down range so you could see where your bullet was going, right?
Right.
But when you're in the middle and you see tracer rounds go that way or tracer rounds go that way, right? I'm looking at my instructor behind me and I go, what's going on? He goes, I can tell you exactly what's happening. And I went, okay. He says, you see on your open sight? And I said, yeah. You see the 2 little wings and your sight in the middle? I said, yeah. Those idiots down there are aiming off one of the wings. I went, oh my God, don't send us to war. I might get shot. And at nighttime, it was really fun to watch. Them rounds were going in every which direction. And I'm going, people, the target's down there, not up there, not over there, not over there. Now, the fun part was just got loaded. They gave me a full 20-round clip. They'd been giving us 3-round clips, right, to get used to it. Full 20-round clip. We're in Georgia. What dumbass deer decides to run across the rifle range? Yeah. He got so many bullet holes in him, he was not even a deer anymore.
And I hope our viewing audiences are of the age of like 18.
Yeah, if they are, it's deer hunting.
You just brought back, I was talking about how the woke came in and stopped the hazing. And Jonathan here writes about his boot camp, and I can't wait to read it to you. I'm glad that my boot camp instructors, RDCs, were hardcore. One was a Greenside corpsman, and he experienced many deaths in person. He tortured us. The other was studying psychology and just had a powerful look in his eyes, so frightening at times. Hazing is pretty much completely banned in the military. You can have your career ruined if you haze the wrong person. Yeah,
Right.
that's very true. Very true.
Oh, he's
I know they give
24 years
blanket
old.
parties. They still give blanket parties at boot camp.
Right. And Jonathan is 24 years old. Thank you, young man, for your service.
Right on, brother. Right on. Yeah, when I was at boot camp, Jonathan, you're gonna like this. I was in up at Great Lakes, and at one point, and I'll try and be brief with this. I was in a military school, and I was like the second oldest guy in our company. The first one was 34. He had at that time, I think, 10 or 12 years Army, and he had to go through Navy boot camp. And so he was the RPOC, the Recruit Chief Petty Officer. And I was the ARPOC. I was so hard on the guys, I got demoted, got to first platoon or second platoon leader, got demoted, again, because I was too hard. They put me into educational petty officer, got demoted because I don't have patience for dumb idiots. And then they made me a master at arms RPOC of the company, of the division. And I ended up being they thought that I had it so easy. They put me in intensive training, IT. And I know I passed it fine. It was 3 hours of 3 days straight, 3 hours of physical torture, holding buckets of sand, working with the rifle, doing push-ups, sit-ups, all that stuff. Well, guess what? I even failed that and had to do MIT, which was massive, intensive training. And I did make it through and graduate. But it was so funny because he just brought back a great memory of boot camp. I just loved boot camp. I will say that. It tore me down and built me back up.
Boot camp, it was good. I can say that. AIT was better. We had a 12-week course, self-paced course, mind you. I did it in 2 weeks.
Wow.
When I got done with that, I went and seen my captain. He goes, well, you can stick around for a week and graduate with the other class that's graduating. Or you can go home for a week. And I went, let me call the airport and get my flight arranged. Yeah.
Check this out. Demoted for enforcing strict perfection. Yeah, I had gotten to my ship, and I used to fold my t-shirts one extra fold opposed to what they had us do. And I know you know that. I'm sure you fold your clothing for your bunk, Jonathan, the same way today. I'd be hard pressed that certain things change in boot camp. But when you got out of boot camp and you went to your ship, you still technically had to have that, you know, the t-shirt. I wish I had one to show, folded in a certain way. Well, I still went and folded it in half more so I could see each t-shirt and how many I had left before I had to do laundry.
Right.
But I still got away with it. But that's funny. He was enforcing strict perfections and got demoted. Love it.
Yes,
Oh,
I still
gosh.
found most of my clothing boot camp style. Yes, sir.
And
Awesome.
he'll use that all his life because trust me, you can learn how to use a knapsack to put just your daily clothes in for a 7-day trip, say down to Jamaica or St. Croix Island, down to Cozumel.
Yep.
And it's amazing. It's like, wow, you got 7 days worth of clothes in that little backpack.
Oh, that's the same way when I packed up when I drove over the road because I'd be gone 2 weeks at a time. Yeah.
Yeah, you had
It wasn't
to.
a very big bag, and I had 2 weeks worth of clothes in there. So let
I
me
forget.
show. Where's it at? Where's it at? This probably going to cover your picture up. But anyway, for those watching the show, here is a lineup on the Bill of Rights Network. Oh, it covers both of us up. Okay, that's even better. So, oh, I know how to do that. Let's do. No. Okay, it don't work that way. So anyway, these are our shows on Monday, Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., I do the Born TV Wake Up Gallatin show, which is a show that I talk about in the mornings, what's going on in our area and around. And then I replay pre-recorded shows throughout the day from all our shows on the network. Sundays at 11:15 a.m., Open Bible Church, and that will be going on until August the 29th. After that, I don't know what we'll be doing at that time frame. Sundays at 5 p.m., where you're at now, the Second Amendment Ranch, hosted by Cameron and myself, usually. Tonight I have a co-host, Vincent, with me. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7 p.m., Warriors for America with Mike Miller. Great guy, great guy. Tuesdays, Paranormal Nation Radio at 5 p.m. Not so normal on that show. It gets going crazy on there. Wednesdays at 6 o'clock. And I got to change that. It says the people's voice. I got to change it to a people's voice. I keep forgetting to do that. And that's with Vincent, co-host I have here with me tonight. Thursday at 7 p.m., HTX Renegade Radio, Simple Man and TDC, bring it to you, the Conservative Outlaws. Fridays at 12:30 p.m., European 2A with Luke and Larson, our buddies from England and Sweden that talk about laws over in their part of the world, and they are getting ready to move to Texas. Saturdays at 8 a.m., Chase the Wolf with Dan Meadows. He chases the two-legged wolves. Then at 11 a.m. on Saturday, The Shooting Channel with The Shooting Whisperer, Dan Meadows. He has taken all over the rights of The Shooting Channel. So now he is on there showing you different things about guns and laws and things, same as we do over here. And then Saturday at 5:30 p.m., Saturday Night Live Auction with Crystal. Crystal's live auction and buy it now. Also on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m., Crystal does a live auction on there too. I got to get that one put on there. So that's the lineup on the Bill of Rights Network. Growing network.
Now, I can't say this enough to you, Carl, and I thank you personally because anyone who's not familiar with me, who's on here right now, all I can say is I personally do this format. We do have town meetings, by the way, coming up monthly, correct?
Yeah, we're getting one set up for our next one.
But, for myself personally, it's a good therapy. By the way, we took the most gold in the Olympics.
Awesome.
We had viewership down across America, down as high as, I believe, 43% less viewers than the last Olympics on the average. And it's sad to say that the viewership dropped like that, but a lot of people were saying, well, was it because they were in Tokyo and the time change? Is it because people are, they've got this weight of the mandates and the COVID, or was it the protesting during the Olympics? And I myself, I've got to say, it was a protesting. It turned people off.
Yeah. Could have been.
And I was also told on my last podcast, by the way, Carl, you're going to love this. I said there's no I in Americans.
Yeah.
Sorry, I meant to say there's no I in team when you are on the Olympics as a team member. In other words, you do your sport and that's it. When you get done with your sport and you come back and someone says, we want you to do a secret commercial or a hairspray commercial, whatever, then you can start doing your little platforms of hatred, of division, of your racism. You can do that afterwards.
Right.
But don't do it, Doran. Don't take your politics to the platform of the Olympics.
Exactly.
We're a great nation. We have great people here. A lot of men and women have served and died for you to be at the Olympics representing America. And it's sad. It's sad.
I know. It's like anything out there on the media sites and TV and all that. All our so-called heroes that people are supposed to look up to, sports players and all this and that, they're taking too much of the political form into the sport. And that
Yeah,
needs
that
to be
LeBron
taken out.
James. Yeah, that LeBron James does not. I mean, here goes a guy that goes into a basketball court, sitting there watching a game, and believe it or not, he's got a bottle of tequila between his feet. If you or I were in that arena and we had just a little pint, by the way, I mean, he had a fifth. If you and I had a pint on us, we would be thrown out, arrested, and God only knows when we would get out of jail.
Exactly. I
Again, it
know.
goes back to the rules for thee and not for me.
Well, you look at what's going to happen in NFL this year. You know, I'm not even going to watch the beginning of it until the kickoff, or I'll have it turned completely down. Because, you know, I'm used to, before the game starts, we do the national anthem. I'm not going to sit there and listen to the black national anthem.
There's one anthem for our country.
That's right.
Francis Scott Key wrote that while he was watching the actual warring going on. I believe it was during the 1812.
Mm-hmm.
And when he wrote that, the words are so descriptive of the peril that these men and women and the cities and these people were going through for our freedoms. And it's sad because today there is no patriotism in these younger generations, and our military needs good people. If you've got a son or a daughter that's a little lost, and by the way, I was lost big time.
Cindy, I have no idea what the black national anthem is. All I know is the NFL was reporting that every game this year, they were going to play the national anthem and the black national anthem.
Yep.
And I'm like, there's only one. That's what I stand up for. That's what I went in the military to protect and everything. This America, one national anthem.
Hey, I've got an idea.
What's that?
I got an idea. Why don't we have a black NFL and a white NFL like we used to have a black baseball and white baseball? Because that's what they're doing.
Didn't listen to your national anthem. Did you do one on YouTube? I'll have to wait for Scott to reply back. But yeah, I mean,
Okay, I wasn't even going on with this one. I'm not caught up with the chat.
That's all right. I keep an eye on it. It's coming in. Yeah, it's on your channel. I remember seeing part of it. I'm gonna have to go back and look and listen to that again and everything. But all I was saying, if that's what's going to happen, then yeah, I'll just turn the volume down until I know they're getting ready for the kickoff, and then I'll turn the volume back up. Because I do like watching my Kansas City Chiefs and everything play football. So, and of course, when we open the new restaurant and the bars upstairs on Sundays, there'll be football games. So, yeah, the volume will be turned down.
Can I address this with Jonathan again? It's pretty good dialogue. Probably for the racist group that is Black Lives Matter, I too like to fight racism with racism or sarcasm. First off, Black Lives Matter is a terrorist group. They support the Hamas of Palestine. Okay, that's the first thing. They are a terrorist group. They do not defend the black lives of the city streets where black on black crime is, and black on Asian crime is, so on and so forth. So that's number one. Number two, I guess, Jonathan, you fight fire with fire.
Right. And Scott, if you got flacked for singing the national anthem as a liberal, those people are ridiculous, brother. You support the Second Amendment. You're a patriot. You know, I don't care what your political belief is and everything. anybody has the right to sing that and stuff. You know, it. You don't get black on it. If you did, those are assholes. Excuse my language, but yeah,
I'm,
I
I'm
get fired up when people start talking about that.
hey, Carl, you want to laugh?
Yeah,
You want everyone else to laugh? Gotta
let's
hear
get
this one. I
okay.
can't make this stuff up. 1980, I'm down in New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm at Pat O'Brien's, which they make this wonderful drink called the Hurricane. And in Pat O'Brien's, they've got not one, but two full-sized grand pianos, and they've got two pianists that are sitting there playing. Okay.
Okay.
Now, this one gal was fairly young, and the older gal had been there many years, and she basically ran, I believe, the show. So on the piano, and she's only doing two notes, and she says, "Let's sing the national anthem." And all of a sudden on the piano, she's going, "Oh," and everyone's saying, "Oh," back to her, and I am too. And she's going, "Oh," and everyone's going, "Oh." And the next thing you know, she goes to playing the song, which was, "Oh, I wish I were in a land of cotton, Dixieland."
Oh God.
I'm singing at the top of my lungs the national anthem. I had the whole room looking at me like, "Oh, what a fool. Yankee, go back home."
Yeah.
So I know how you feel there, Scott. It happens. But seriously, you do
Right.
have the right, regardless of your political
Right.
your party, you have the right to sing the national anthem, because that too brings us together as a country, unifying us.
Well, that's what, like Scott said, love my country. That's what matters. And that's exactly right.
And
Love this country.
and on one of my gun cases, I have a bumper sticker which says, "Love my country, fear my government."
Right.
Because they're going to go after the guns. They're going to go after our rights. They are right now.
As I like what Jonathan said there from
Yep, I was
Abraham
getting ready
Lincoln.
to pop it on. You got to it before me.
That's right. America will never destroy from the outside. It will falter and lose our freedoms. It will because we destroyed ourselves. Abraham Lincoln.
And you know, there last night or on the past couple nights, you've heard of Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
100 million viewers, I believe he has.
Right.
He actually made a very good point. All of us have been saying it to one degree or another. He has a great voice to listen to, by the way. He has his moments. And he basically said what we're going through with this country and the change going and leaning towards American Marxism. He said, we have to look at our history. We already know Marxism doesn't work.
Right.
Giving out all this money, manufacturing all this money, we got 17 Republicans, by the way, that jumped on board for this infrastructure bill. We've really got to take back our country. We've got to slow this process down. Chip Roy, Bob Gibbs out of Ohio, Chip Roy out of Texas, they're calling for Biden to be impeached.
Yeah, just like Jonathan says here, just as they did California, they are releasing all the illegal immigrants into Texas now. This is how California has been turned permanently blue for the foreseeable future.
But the nice part about the Californians, from what I can tell, and this is what I've heard, it's good if you're from California, but just make sure you're not a Democrat in those Republican states. And by the way, to the Democrats, I want to offer this, if I may, Carl.
Go
If
ahead.
you are a Biden supporter, I ask you to please take your Biden signs out of the basement where he usually is, but take them out of your basement or your attic, put them on your front lawn so the illegal insurgents that are coming into our country know who you are, and they can come stay and live with you. Please.
Okay.
And I
Right.
like to tell people in general, don't blame me. I voted for Trump. I'm a Trump guy.
Right.
You know,
Well, let's see. We're over the 2 hour mark, so I guess it's a good time to stop the show tonight.
really.
I want to thank everybody for joining in the chat room and keeping us going
Look
out
at
there.
look at Cindy. Please put the signs on the lawn.
Yeah,
She's in Mississippi, by the way.
right. We have some great people in the chat room tonight. Of
Yes.
course, we was all over the world. We had Julie from Australia was in here earlier and stuff.
Jonathan from Hawaii.
Yep. So we covered, yeah, everywhere around there today. But again, check out the Bill of Rights Network Facebook page for all the shows that's coming on there. Second Amendment Ranch is here every Sunday evening at 5 p.m. Usually Cameron's sitting where I am and I'm sitting where Benson's at. But tonight he was feeling under the weather.
Cameron.
Yeah. Yeah. Benson is
Prayers
too,
out
but-
to you, brother. Prayers out to you.
Right. But anyway, again, I'm Carl,
I'm Vincent.
and this is the Second Amendment Ranch.
Thank you for joining.